Well, if I could change anything about hip hop, the one thing I would change is the lack of black support. Right? The lack of our people continue to let other people come in and take what we started. And it happened to jazz, right? Even from an education standpoint, we had the hardest time keeping that class at North Carolina Central. But Duke opened up open arms for it, right? I get more lecture opportunities at Ivy League schools than I do at black schools. We got 11 black schools in the state of North Carolina. The way the media has formed hip-hop to separate the generations is amazing. Like, you can't even get a 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 50-year-old to even want to listen to Eric B. and Rakim. Although he's kicking the reel, you can't even get, because that's that old, that's that. They don't even want to listen because all they see is BET, right? So they don't even, the media has separated the generations because of what the picture they painted for hip-hop music. And that makes black people not want to support it. That makes black people not want to learn anything about it. And that makes other races come in and scoop it right on up, claim it to be theirs, and put the National Archives of Hip-Hop at Harvard University. That's the one thing I would change, for black people to understand the beautiful thing that we create. That's one thing I would change.
How would you go about changing that?
Shoot, man. Changing is a small microcosm. You know, that turns into not even a hip-hop conversation, that just turns into a black society conversation. Like, that's a small microcosm of what black people need to do. Very small, and the big pantheon of stuff that we need to do that we want and we haven't for the past, woo, man, we do all night. But, you know, we just got to do it one at a time, man. I think putting it in academia would change it. Getting our elders, because Jeff Johnson's a good friend of mine. One thing he said in a panel, and he said, we got old people and we got elders. There's a difference. Getting our old people to understand what time it is. Roy Ayers is an elder. He knows what time it is to come to hip hop. Your average old person, they just old and mad about it. And I don't hear that. That's that noise. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, this same noise is the same person that taught me about Carter G. Woodson. I sure didn't learn about elementary school. I learned about King and Tubman and maybe Malcolm X, maybe. But Chuck D taught me about Carter G, and I didn't know who Steve Biko was. Never heard of Steve Biko until it was on Midnight Marauders. So the same music that you curse gave me a Black History lesson every day in my room. And that's the thing, the old people from that, you don't know what we went through, you don't know what, you know what, I don't, but Chuck D told me all about it. And I can't even get you to understand that. That's the biggest problem, guys. So if we get it in academia and change these old cats' minds, then we'll be straight. That's gonna take some work, though. And it don't help when we got people out there that sound like they can't even read when they rap. You know?
I'm sorry, I don't want to monopolize, but you said the academia. I think that's very important. Do you think, because you kind of brought a parallel between Black history and hip hop and academia, like, do you think it's very important to fuse those two? I guess. And
Black History Academia?
Black History Academia and
hip hop. That when I taught the class in North Carolina Central, I taught the class from April 4th, 1968 to March 9th, 1997. The day King got assassinated, the day Biggie died. That's what I did. And the reason why I did is because if you really look at it, especially in high school, even sometimes college, man, after King died, you really don't hear a lot about Black history. You go from King, Obama. Like you jump. Like you don't hear nothing what happened in the 70s, Fred Hampton, none of that stuff. You don't hear it. So what I did